Hey folks, it's Tom with Network Engineers Playground. So I got my new SD card in. This is like a super fast one. Of the super fast cards, you have some of those Lexars that are like $189 or something. This is a reasonable price at $15 for a 64 gig. And it's got a transfer speed here of 100 megs a second. And it gets in real time from the reviews I read around 80 to 90 megs a second on write speed. So write speed's always the kicker on these types of cards. How fast do they write? They usually read faster than they write. So when they say transfer speed, does that read? Is that write? You know, it's kind of hard to know. So I always go try to look up some good reviews on these. But that will be faster for when I'm copying ROMs up to the Raspberry Pi. So the Raspberry Pi Zero, we found it plays Sega Genesis games great. It plays regular Nintendo games great. It plays Atari games great. But we just can't get it to work reliably with Super NES games. So we got the Raspberry Pi 3B Plus here. This is about $35 most places. This has a built-in Ethernet port. It does have a wireless. It's got 4 USB ports built right in, so we don't have to mess with the USB hub thing. It does have the connector on it for hooking stuff up, which we won't do. It's got the camera spot. It's got an audio output jack, of course, and it's got the full-size HDMI connector instead of the mini, and then that's the little spot to power it up. So we'll see. You can get heat sinks to put on the processors and stuff on this guy, but we're going to try it first without it and see if it needs it. It does throttle itself thermally. If it gets too hot, it slows down. And just going to see what we can do with this guy and see if it works better than the Pi Zero. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is download our client, or our image of RetroPie and for the Pi 3, and then we're going to put it on this SD card if I can get it out. Okay, so like the first thing I'm going to do here is just download the RetroPie image. I gotta go retropie.uk here. Click on that Google link. Okay, and we're going to download, and then basically we want to download for the Pi 2 and 3. It's downloading. It's got 50 seconds left. Okay, so our RetroPie image down here has finished downloading. So now we want to open up our burning software again. Now I downloaded this the first time in my Pi Zero video, but this is the Etcher. If you just Google like Etcher Imager or whatever, you'll find the download link to it. And we'll open that up. It takes it a minute to load. I'm going to take and put my little SD card here in my reader because the one on this computer doesn't work. I think it's just a driver issue. But that's in there, and then we'll plug that into our USB port. Okay, and that's plugged in. It sees it. We're all good there. So now we gotta select our image. So we'll come down here to downloads. You can tell I've been downloading some games. I gotta find it. It's here somewhere. It should be in the R's, I think. Yeah, let's just open up Google Chrome here. Yeah, it starts with retro, so these are reversed. So we'll go pick our image here, R, RetroPie 4.4, Raspberry Pi 2 and 3. There's the one I had for the Raspberry Pi 1 and 0. So we'll open that. And we're going to select the drive we want to burn it to, which is that one. E. We're going to continue. Hit flash. It's going to give us a warning that it's unusually large. Are you sure you want to use it? We'll say continue. And then it's going to burn that image over to the flash. Be curious to see if this burns any faster on this one. Yeah, I don't know that it's any faster than my other card was. That's a little faster. Yeah, it's moving now. Okay, so we'll let this work, and then we'll be ready to get this Raspberry Pi fired up. So again, once it burns it and it validates it, it's always going to come up and say this is unavailable. That's because it put a partition on there, but it doesn't recognize the Linux file system. It's going to be like, oh, hey, do you want to format it? You don't want to do that. Just cancel all that. And then you can go ahead and close your etcher. And you can go ahead and unplug your SD card. And then this goes in the bottom of the Pi on this one. One way or another. Let's see. Yep, right there. Yep. Well, let's try it again. This way. Yep, there we go. So now that's in. Now we're ready to power this guy up and see what it does. Alright, so I've got my HDMI full-size cable there. And so that's good. And basically I'm just going to plug in a keyboard here to the USB. And I'm going to plug in game controller right here. Okay. And we'll turn on the TV. I got my power here. I mean, that's all we should need. We don't need the hub or dongle or adapter or anything, which is kind of nice. By the time you buy the adapters and dongles and hub and everything, it's almost just cheaper to buy the Pi 3. But we'll go ahead and change our input to HDMI 4. Maybe. There. Okay. Okay, so we're plugged in. We're going to go ahead and plug power onto this guy and see what it does. Brand new boot up. It's got a little red and green light on the Pi. Oh, it's got 4 raspberries up there. It's resizing our root file system. That's just booting up. Definitely seemed faster.
Hi.
Alright, I'm working on it, Wes. Just gonna give me a minute to get it done. The kids are already in here wanting to play. Okay. So it says 1 gamepad detected. So all I'm gonna do is just hold down a button. Like it says hold a button. So we'll hold down A. And there. Now it wants us to press, D-pad up, D-pad down. So we're just hitting the buttons here. So left, right. Then it's going to tell you to hit start, select. Then we're going to hit A, B, X, Y. And then left shoulder, right shoulder. And then I don't have any of the other buttons on this controller. So you just press anything and hold it down for each one of these. And after you hold it down a couple seconds, it'll just say not defined. And then we just say OK. So it says you didn't choose a hotkey enable button. This is required for exiting games with a controller. Do you want to use the select button default? And we'll say yes there. We do. Okay. And now we're in RetroPie configuration. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and see if I can get this guy configured for my wireless. But I know that I got to go change my keyboard configuration stuff. So that means we have to go into, I think, this RaSB config. And then we got to go to localization options. Oh, boot options. Uh-oh, something went wrong here. Okay, localization options. Oh, select. Okay. Oh, I'm getting this under voltage detected. I might need a better power adapter. That'll power this guy. We want to change the keyboard layout to match your keyboard. Okay. And then we have the generic 105 key. That's what we want. And then we don't have any of this English UK stuff, right? So we have to say other and say okay. And then we want English US. And then it'll ask us like what English US do we want. I'm trying to remember what we selected before that worked. I'm just going to select English US. And we'll just say the default on that. Say OK. And we don't need a compose key. Alright. So now I can come over here and say finish. And we're fine there. So now we want to come down here to Wi-Fi. Oh, hang on. Wi-Fi. Here, under voltage detected. It said it again. Yes, we want to launch the Raspberry Pi config. And network options. Wi-Fi, enter SSID. I guess we want that. So now we gotta say we're in the United States. This is gonna take forever to scroll down here. Let's see, on my keyboard I can just hit U. I'll get me to the U's. United States. Okay. Okay, so now we're at the spot where we enter our SSID. Okay. Enter. And then enter my passphrase. Dogs. Okay. So I don't know, did it tell me a wireless SSID? Okay, configure network settings. Wi-Fi. Okay, let's try this again. So we're going to put this in. We're going to say OK. Here's the passphrase. We'll say OK. Under voltage detected. I don't know, I'm going to say finish. See what happens. Okay. Oh, now I got to hit connect to Wi-Fi network. So maybe I didn't need to do that? I don't know. Okay. So here's my network. Okay, now it wants the passphrase again. Alright, we'll say OK. I'm gonna have to get a different USB adapter, darn it. We want to see if I can at least get through this first. It's all a little, there's a little battery lightning bolt thing up here at the top too. Okay, so it's connecting. But it's not happy right now. I might have to put a different USB adapter on it and try it all over again. Okay, so now I'm back in here. Hang on, I want to quit this part. I don't want this set up. So now I'm back in here and I want to do select RetroPie configuration. We'll go down to Wi-Fi. I found I think a better AC adapter. We're going to try it. And so we're going to select this. Okay, we're going to connect to our Wi-Fi. Oh, okay. There's that. That's my Wi-Fi. Okay, I'm going to put the password in. It's taking a minute. Hopefully it'll connect here. So that's connecting. We'll see. Alright, I got an IP address here. I got the 139 connected to my Wi-Fi. Okay, so now I can go ahead and exit out of this. And we're going to go ahead and get the games on here, or some games on here, and we're going to try it out. See how it works. Okay, so I should just be able to browse to that guy through its Samba share and over the Wi-Fi and be like // 10.100.110. This one's 139. Okay, and then we see ROMs, and we see all of our different ROMs here, or ROM directories, I should say, and there should be one called SNES. That's what I'm curious about. So now I'm going to go pull up another folder here and go to my server where I have all my games and ROMs. Again, I download lots of ROMs while they're available, and as I buy the games I put them on. But I usually look for old games and stuff at garage sales and places, but I, as a personal policy, don't play games that I don't own, or if I do, it's briefly just to test and see if it works, and then I get right back out of it. It's just somebody put a lot of time and effort into making that game. Even though it's old, it's not abandoned, it's still copyrighted, and I generally like to follow the law. So let me look here. Okay, so here is my SNES ROMs, and so I want Super Mario World 2 Yoshis Island. That was an expensive game to buy, let me tell you. I think I ended up spending almost $50 on that game. It was a nice one in its original case, though. And then Super Mario All-Stars, I want that. And then I have the Kirby one. Kirby Superstar. I also own Kirby Avalanche. Okay, so that gives us a few games to put on here and test out. And then we have to go over here and reboot the Pi, and then we'll be ready to play. So the other thing that I learned is you don't have to just pull the power. That's probably not the best way to reboot these guys. If you go back here to your main thing, you hit the start button, pops up this menu, you go to quit, hit A to select quit, and then there's a restart system. But you don't have to restart the whole system, you only have to restart emulation station to see the games. And it's a whole lot faster. And now we see I have Super Nintendo. So we'll go in here. And so here's Super Mario All-Stars. Let's see if it works. Turn up some sound. That sounds good. Yeah, that sounds normal. It's not all laggy now with the audio. I'm just gonna do Super Mario 1. Oh yeah, that's working. I'm not even gonna take the shortcut. I'm just gonna go down here. Ooh. Ooh, my star. Seems to work good. Sweet. I can play my games, and this is like in high def. It's like really crystal clear compared to my old Super NES. I'm just going to play the long way around. I'm not going to go to the warp zone. Because I'm just kind of testing for gameplay right now to see how it works. Especially after it heats up good and we're playing it for a while. Yay, Mario! Oh. Oopsie. I was kind of just trying to play with the controls and see how they work. They're very responsive. It's nice, smooth gameplay. Because I can't shoot him with the fireball. Oh crap. I changed my mind at the last second when it started coming back up, but it's too late. Get my shroom. I need my magic mushroom. Oh, crap. Yeah, she's getting a little warm. I'm feeling the chip on her now. Not like hot, but warm. Ah! Anyway, I think that's good enough to see that it works. So I'm going to get my son in here and let him play some Yoshi's Island. Alright, so we're going to fire up the Yoshi's Island and let my son play. He's really good at this game. We'll see how it works. This is probably the one that's going to push its processing the hardest. This is like one of the last games they made that had like the special FX chip on the card and everything. We'll turn it up a little bit here, T.
I really wish you could skip this cutscene or something like that. Yeah. I haven't played this game in a year.
It seems to be doing a lot better than Pi Zero was doing. Seems like pretty smooth gameplay to me. Looks like it's working. Sweet. Are you getting a red Yoshi? Wow.
Actually, technically, it's pink.
No. It's getting a pink Yoshi. Is that like a girl Yoshi?
I don't know.
They kind of both have to be girls if they can lay eggs. Holy crap. How am I after you?
Looks like I still got it.
Yeah, I think you still got it, man. It's a Yoshi helicopter.
There we go.
So he goes the other way.
Okay.
All right, well, we can turn the video off now. I think
I guess.
we know it works.